Williams, 14 years in the league. We got a lot to discuss about it. Hall of Fame inductions, so much to come around, and Super Bowl 60 preview. So joining us, Big Pat Williams on the show. So I started the show off with this here, and obviously with the discussion of Bill Belichick, not in as a first ballot Hall of Famer. Now, I understand everyone getting outraged because of just the situation itself, but that doesn't mean that Bill is not a Hall of Famer. He very much is. It's just not today. So I think about this, like when you look into the Hall of Fame, the resumes and all the rest of it, what are kind of some key factors you looked at with this? Because to me, I felt like there were about 4 different factors that came into this, but I also looked at the even playing field when it came to years of eligibility between the coaches and the players. What were your thoughts on this?
My minds?
Yep.
Oh, mine was, man. I think they just, know what I'm saying, it just basically was outraged because Belichick got, like, he got the numbers. I don't care what he did off the field. That's
Yeah.
that's the only thing I don't like about the NFL. And then they got people voting and stuff on it, and they go off what you did off the field, not on the field. You know what I'm saying? It's about what you did on the field, not your life, really. It's all about what you achieved while you was in the NFL on the field.
Right. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like I said, I've had this kind of discussion when it came to, the Cooperstown Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, because it was some of the votes in which the baseball writers, I feel like I questioned so much of just like what exactly are you looking at from context perspective? Because it's just like these guys clearly that you have still left up on the list are in fact, no doubt, Hall of Famers. You tell me a name, and the problem is too is like the voting aspect of things, because we deal with this in our everyday lives with every 4 years with our presidency. We deal with this now with just the Hall of Fames in every major sport, but it's not, the structure's not straightforward. It's like if you told me a name, right? You told me Bill Belichick, Hall of Famer, 100%. You told me like Barry Bonds, Hall of Famer, absolutely.
Case closed. Because I'm still mad about Barry Bonds. He ought to be in there.
Yep.
Because I don't care what he was doing. It don't make you hit that ball like that. You gotta have eye coordination for to hit that ball like he hit the ball. I don't care what if you taking something, I ain't taking nothing. It cannot make you hit the ball like that.
100%, man. And he had the quickest swing.
And then it's all about people, you know what I'm saying? Like the reporters doing these votes. If they don't like you, they gonna vote for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like every team got, I think, one main reporter for like votes. So if they don't like you, they don't pass it on, man. We ain't vote for him. I don't care what his stats is. I don't care what this is. This is.
Mm-hmm.
So they're not gonna vote for you.
Yeah. So we got now a Super Bowl 49 rematch in Super Bowl 60 with the Patriots and the Seahawks. I have a lot of respect for Mike Vrabel. I think he's a great coach, gritty, knows exactly how to utilize every player, and players love him as a coach.
Yeah.
And to getting as far as they were, because a lot of the question marks were, have they faced against one of the toughest teams in the league? And they faced against 3 of the top 5 to top 10 defenses in the playoffs to get to this point. And then I look on the other side, Seattle, where it's nostalgic because for a few reasons. Number one is defensive coach who's young, but all these players are energized. They got fresh legs. They're strong, and they get after the quarterback. The other thing is that cover 3 of the secondary with Nick Emenwari and the rest of them is so nasty. So I feel like this, even though it's a rematch, it has a different storyline to me, because Seattle, Sam Darnold, he deserves every credit that given to him because of where they are and where he got to thus far to be here. So I think of it as like, Tampa, when they had Brad Johnson as a quarterback, they made it through. He made the throws, talented players, but also had a great defense up and around him. How do you kind of see this Super Bowl outlooking? I think Seattle, They're the toughest team with the youngsters, but New England does have the brains and the minds to find ways to outsmart their opponents.
Yeah, but I'm rolling with now. I think Seattle gonna get him because Sam Darnold play enough. Like he don't try to make the big plays. He like Sam Darnold make the smart plays, and they defense put and so always put them inside the right field positions. So I'm going with Seattle on this one because I already like Sam Darnold because I wish he was signed back with Minnesota, the Vikings, but I don't think any different there. He had an offensive line. Now I'll tell everybody, I say Sam got offensive line. If he get offensive line, he gonna be good. And Vikings ain't had now. They was killing him. Listen, the Vikings. So now he got offensive line, so he can make all smart throws.
Absolutely. So discussing with the former teams you played for, so one of them, this is going to be interesting of a change in 2026 with the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. And one of my big things is Sean McDermott. I don't mean any disrespect in this regard, but I feel like with his position and how long he's been in the league, he feels a lot like a modern day Marty Schottenheimer, where he'll get up there, but is close, but no cigar. But defensive minded coaches, it is tough because if you got a young coach like a Saleh or a McDonald or someone that elevates and has the right hand man next to him to handle the offense, I feel like it's match made in heaven. But some of them, they tend to kind of pull the reins depending on schematics and situations. Because I understand you got to defense is always crucial in these games where you got to win the big games. But with Buffalo, they elevate Joe Brady. And to me, I already saw this coming where they needed an offensive coach, but it's not Brian Daboll. He's now in Tennessee, which is interesting, but they elevate Joe Brady. And my thing is, Josh only has an X amount of time, but it's also where Buffalo has to address this too. How do you kind of see this? Because now this was the opportunity for Josh Allen to do it, and unfortunately came short. I mean, how much time does Buffalo have until it's only going to get tougher from here?
See, like at the end of the day, like they're gonna get down saying tougher now because I was mad because they fired the coach. I said, "How the fuck y'all fired the coach for? He already put y'all in position for the win the game, and then like it ain't coach's fault that his players always get hurt. You know what I'm saying? Later time of the season, so he be out of players. So y'all give him an opportunity to win, and then that damn call he called in that game, those were bad call. Those were catches, not no interception. Yep. So I think like he always every time Buffalo get in the playoffs, like all his players get hurt on he get key players hurt on defense, key players hurt on offense, so they always go in short-handed like every year. But he put them in a position to win every year though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I agree with that because it's like there's times in which like you kind of think about where do you really balance it when it comes to coaching schemes, quarterback play, all those things. And then not to mention, I mean, injuries, it's inevitable in the league. It's bound to happen because you work your bodies 24/7 and you're trying to stay healthy all throughout the years, taking contacts, different workout plans. It's tough. So we'll see. I mean, this is going to be interesting for what next season brings, but hopefully there might be some new changes that come up and into here, and whether they're positive or it could take them a different direction. So Minnesota, so I was very surprised for a number of reasons. I was really dead wrong when it came to the NFC North with the predictions because I had Minnesota winning the division for a few reasons. Number one is I love Brian Flores' defense. I think getting the key players in defense, getting after it, and shutting down opposing offenses was one key. The second key was how healthy was J.J. McCarthy going to be, added in the confidence of Kevin O'Connell, the head coach and offensive-minded coach, which was going to help him build. But Minnesota now has a tough task at hand to going into next year because, yes, Justin Jefferson, star player, absolutely, you got to make him happy. What do they need to do right? Because one thing is JJ has to build the confidence. And not only that, but also be the healthiest in his state for him to be able to make the plays, make the connections, and find the chemistry to take that further, especially when Green Bay, their defense with Micah Parsons, Detroit, they're pissed. They want to get back into it. And then we just watched Chicago get as far as they did. What does Minnesota got to do from here?
Man, Minnesota got to fix their offensive line. That's been the same thing every year. The trend every year, offensive line. But I told everybody, Minnesota should have kept Jones. They ain't signed Sam Darnold back, but they should have signed Jones back because I'm saying JJ, yeah, I'm saying he y'all first round pick, but JJ never played, so don't put the team in his hand right now. He never played. I don't care about preseason. I said he never played a game, no real game, because I think preseason games don't even really count. Because when I played preseason, I played about 25%. I ain't how to play hard. It's out of preseason. But I'm just saying, I said, man, y'all should have a quarterback. They need to get their offensive line fixed and then find some cornerbacks.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I agree with you. I think if they do that and Minnesota gets themselves back up and on track, then it'll be a lot better, especially when you think about cap flexibility, what they need to do now further down the road. That's something that I know is going to be important for them in the future. One last question before letting you go, because, like I said, this Super Bowl is going to be interesting. I like my chances with Seattle. And I mean, I've had the pleasure of watching you guys, growing up as a kid, watching the defense, and you played with great guys, playing next to Kevin, and then Chad Greenway, Ben Lieber, Antoine Winfield, just amazing guys. And it's hard because there have been teams that have been successful getting over the hump, and some that just get that close, and it's hard because now it's like we put in a lot of the work. We're so motivated. When you think back to that, and I know that was a tough time, especially against New Orleans, but to go back to that, and especially for players up and coming, what they need to prepare for physically and mentally to make it further, to then taste the sweetness of the Lombardi trophy when it's there in front of them and what they worked so hard for all year long, especially when you got great defenses such as the team that you had yourself in your playing days. Like, what's kind of the motivator for some of these players, even when you go through a situation like that?
You see, at the end of the day, man, you got to have a great coach, man. At the end of the day, you got to trust your coach and then love your coach and then want to play off your coach. That's what's going on now inside New England. They got a coach down there, Verbal is a coach he played before all the years, so he know how to treat his players. He know how to get his players for the trust him, and then now his players playing hard from him and stuff. So it was kind of up and down for us because that New Orleans game it was easy. We got the first down, line up, run the ball, timeout, kick the ball, we out of there. But they don't call a fucking timeout, and then you got 12 minutes on field, penalty, interception. The game should have been over. So that was just a common sense game. So I'm still mad about that game because that was common sense. Coach just line back up, run AP, timeout, field goal, we out of there. It was just, man, I say that was just a dumb call. So, man, if you have great coaches, man, you're going to play great for
them. 100%. Yeah. And, and a lot of the players too, I mean, it's like they busted their tails all throughout from the start of the season and before it even starts, and then getting all the way up and in close to the finish line. It's the toughest road, but it's situations like that asks you two questions. Does it further motivate to get you over the top and play at your absolute best, or is it just kind of where the line ends? And that's the tough part. But they constantly work, they constantly get prepared and motivated so that they can reach the top. Appreciate you for coming on by, Pat. It's going to be an interesting Super Bowl. I really do think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm pulling for Seattle up in this one, but I think we are going to get some spurts of some plays that may be pretty creative. And then at the same time, it's all going to be chess game from here on out. So love to see what's going to happen up from here. Appreciate you for coming on by, man, and sharing your expertise, man. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the rest of the week, and we'll see you soon, my friend.
I appreciate you having on, man. Thank you, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, there you go. And it really